Week 18, Day 5, 1 Samuel 25, 1 Chronicles 7, Acts 17. Now Samuel died, and all Israel assembled and mourned for him, and they buried him at his home in Ramah. Then David moved into the desert of Paran. A certain man in Maon, who had property there in Carmel, was very wealthy. He had 1,000 goats and 3,000 sheep, which he was shearing in Carmel. His name was Nabal, and his wife's name was Abigail. She was an intelligent and beautiful woman, but her husband was surly and mean in his dealings. He was a Calebite. While David was in the wilderness, he heard that Nabal was shearing sheep. So he sent 10 young men and said to them, "Go up to Nabal in Carmel and greet him in my name. Say to him, 'Long live to you, good health to you and your household, and good health to all that is yours.' Now hear that it is sheep shearing time. When your shepherds were with us, we did not mistreat them, and the whole time they were in Carmel doing nothing of theirs was missing. Ask your own servants, and they will tell you. Therefore be favorable towards my men, since we come at a festive time. Please give your servants and your son David whatever you can find for them." When David's men arrived, they gave Nabal this message in David's name. Then they waited. Nabal answered David's servant, "Who is this David? Who is the son of Jesse? Many servants are breaking away from their masters these days. Why should I take bread and water and the meat I have slaughtered for my own shearers and give it to men coming from who knows where?" David's men turned around and went back. When they arrived, they reported every word. David said to them, "Each of you strap on your sword." So they did, and David strapped on his as well. About 400 men went up with David, while 200 stayed with the supplies. One of the servants told Abigail, Nabal's wife, "David sent messengers from the wilderness to give our master his greetings, but he hurled insults at them. Yet these men were very good to us. They did not mistreat us, and the whole time we were out in the fields near them, nothing was missing. Night and day they were a wall around us. The whole time we were herding our sheep around them. Now think it over and see what you can do, because disaster is hanging over our master and his whole household. He is such a wicked man that no one can talk to him." Abigail acted quickly. She took 200 loaves of bread, 2 skins of wine, 5 dressed sheep, 5 seahs of roasted grain, 100 cakes of raisins, and 200 cakes of pounded figs, and loaded them on donkeys. Then she told her servants, "Go on ahead, I will follow you." But she did not tell her husband Nabal. As she came riding her donkey into the mountain ravine, there were David and his men descending towards her, and she met them. David had just said, "It's been useless, all my watching over this fellow's property in the wilderness, so that nothing of his was missing. He had paid me back evil for good. May God deal with David, be it ever so severely, if by morning I leave alive one male of all who belong to him." When Abigail saw David, she quickly got off her donkey and bowed down before David, and with her face to the ground. She fell at his feet and said, "Pardon your servant, my lord, and let me speak to you. Hear what your servant has to say. Please pay no attention, my lord, to that wicked man Nabal. He is like his name. His name means fool. The folly goes with him. And as for me, your servant, I did not see the men my lord sent. And now, my lord, as surely as the Lord your God lives, and as you live, since the Lord has kept you from bloodshed and from avenging yourself with your own hands, may your enemies and all who are intent on harming my lord be like Nabal, and let this gift which your servant has brought to my lord be given to the men who follow you. Please forgive my servant's presumption. The Lord your God will certainly make a lasting dynasty for my lord, because you fight the Lord's battles, and no wrongdoings will be found in you as long as you live. Even though someone is pursuing you to take your life, the life of my lord will be found securely in the bundle of the living by the Lord your God. But the lives of your enemies he'll hurl away as the pocket of a sling. When the Lord has fulfilled for my lord every good thing he promised concerning him, and has appointed him ruler over Israel, my lord will not have his conscience the staggering burden of needless bloodshed, or having avenged himself. And when the Lord your God has brought your Lord success, remember your servant." David said to Abigail, "Praise be to the Lord, the God of Israel, who has sent you today to meet me. May you be blessed for your good judgment, for keeping me from bloodshed this day and from avenging myself with my own hands. Otherwise, as surely as the Lord, the God of Israel lives, who has kept me from harming you, if you had not come quickly to meet me, not one male belonging to Nabal would have been left alive by daybreak." Then David, accepting from her hand what she has brought to him, and said, "Go home in peace. I have heard your words and granted your request." When Abigail went to Nabal, he was in the house holding a banquet like that of a king. He was in high spirits and very drunk, so she told him nothing at all until daybreak. When in the morning, when Nabal was sober, his wife told him all these things, and his heart failed him, and he became like a stone. About 10 days later, the Lord struck Nabal, and he died. When David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, "Praise be to the Lord, who has upheld my cause against Nabal for treating me with contempt. He has kept his servant from doing wrong and has brought Nabal's wrongdoing down on his own head." Then David sent word to Abigail, asking her to become his wife. His servants went to Carmel and said to Abigail, "David has sent us to you to take you to become his wife." She bowed down with her face to the ground and said, "I am your servant and am ready to serve you and wash the feet of my Lord's servants." Abigail quickly got on a donkey and, attended by her 5 female servants, went with David's messengers and became his wife. David had also married Ahinoam of Jezreel, and they both were his wives. But Saul has given his daughter Michal, David's wife, to Paltiel, son of Laish, who was born from Gilim. 1 Chronicles 7. The sons of Issachar: Tola, Pua, Jashub, and Shimron, 4 in all. The sons of Tola: Uzi, Rephaiah, Jeriel, Jamai, Absam, and Samuel, heads of their families. During the reign of David, the descendants of Tola listed as finding men in their genealogy numbered 22,600. The sons of Uzi: Isaiah. The sons of Isaiah: Michael, Obadiah, Joel, and Ishiah. All 5 of them were priests. According to their family genealogy, they had 600,000 men ready for battle, for they had many wives and children. The relatives who were fighting men belonging to all the clans of Issachar, as listed in their genealogy, was 87,000 in all. 3 sons of Benjamin: Bela, Becher, and Jael. The sons of Bela: Ezron, Uzi, Uziel, Jeremoth, and Eri, the heads of the families, 5 in all. Their genealogical record listed 22,034 fighting men. The sons of Becher: Zimmerah, Joash, Eliezer, Elionai, Omri, Jeremoth, Abijah, Anatoth, and Elameth. All these were the sons of Becher. Their genealogical record listed the heads of the families and 20,200 fighting men. The sons of Jediel: Bilhan. The sons of Bilhan: Jeush, Benjamin, Ehud, Kenaiah, Zethan, Tarshish, and Ahishashar. All these sons of Jediel were heads of the family. There were 17,200 fighting men ready to go to war. The Suphanites and Huppites were the descendants of Ur, and the Hushites were the descendants of Ahir. The sons of Naphtali: Jaziel, Guni, Gezer, and Shillem. The descendants of Bilhah. The descendants of Manasseh: Asriel was his descendant through his Aramean concubine. She gave birth to Machir, the father of Gilead. Machir took his wife from among the Huppites and Shuphites. His sister's name was Makkah. Another descendant's name was Zelophehad, who had only daughters. Machir's wife Makkah gave birth to a son and named him Peresh. His brother was named Sheresh, and his sons were named Ulam and Rechem. The sons of Ulam: Bedad. These were the sons of Gilead, son of Machir, the son of Manasseh. His sister Hamelech gave birth to Ishbod, Abiezer, and Mala. The sons of Shemida were Ahian, Shechem, Leki, and Aniam. The sons of Ephraim: Shotelah, Bered his son, Tahath his son, Eliadah his son, Tahath his son, Zabad his son, and Shutelah his son. Ezer and Eliad were killed by the native-born men of Gath when they went down to seize their livestock. Their father, Ephraim, mourned for many days, and their relatives came to comfort him. Then he made love to his wife again, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. He named him Beriah, because they had been misfortune in his family. His daughter was Shurah, who built Lower and Upper Beth Horon, as well as Uzin, Shurah. Rapha was his son, Rifsheth his son, Tela his son, Tahan his son, Ladan his son, Ammihud his son, Elishama his son, Nun his son, and Joshua his son. Their lands and settlements, including Bethel and their surrounding villages, Naran to the east, Gezer and its villages to the west, and Shechem and its villages to the way, to Ayah and its villages, along the borders of Manasseh, were Beth Shan, Tanak, Megiddo, and Dor, together with their villages. The descendants of Joseph, son of Israel, lived in these towns. The sons of Asher, Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, and Beriah. Their sister was Sarah. The sons of Beriah, Heber and Malchiel, who was the father of Birzath. Heber was the father of Japhlet, Shomer, and Hotam, and of their sister Shua. The sons of Japhlet, Pasak, Bimhal, and Ashvath. These were Japhlet's sons. The sons of Shomer, Ahi, Roga, Hubah, and Aram. The sons of his brother Helem, Zophah, Imnah, Shelesh, and Amal. The sons of Zophah, Shua, Harifer, Shua, Ber, Imrah, Bezer, Hod, Shema, Shilsha, Itran, and Bera. The sons of Jether, Juneth, Pispa, and Ara. The sons of Ula, Ara, Haniel, and Rizia. All the sons of Asher, heads of their family, choice men, brave warriors, and outstanding leaders. The number of men ready for battle, as listed in their genealogy, was 26,000. Acts 17. When Paul and his companion had passed over from Amphipolis and Apollonia, they came to Thessalonica, where there was a Jewish synagogue. As was his custom, Paul went into the synagogue, and on 3 Sabbath days he reasoned with them from the Scriptures, explaining and proving that the Messiah had to suffer and rise from the dead. This Jesus I am proclaiming to you is the Messiah, he said. Some of the Jews were persuaded and joined Paul and Silas, as did a number of God-fearing Greeks and a few prominent women. But other Jews were jealous, so they rounded up some bad characters from the marketplace, formed a mob, and started to riot the city. They pushed to Jason's house in search of Paul and Silas in order to bring them out of the crowd. But when they did not find them, they dragged Jason and some other believers before the city officials, shouting, "These men who have caused trouble all over the world has now come here, and Jason has welcomed them into his house. They are all defying Caesar's decree, seeing that there is another king, one called Jesus." When they heard this, the crowd and the city officials were thrown into turmoil. Then they made Jason and the others post bond and let them go. As soon as it was night, the believers sent Paul and Silas away to Berea. On arriving there, they went to a Jewish synagogue. Now the Berean Jews were of a more noble character than those of Thessalonica, for they received the message with great eagerness and examined the Scriptures every day to see if what Paul said was true. As a result, many of them believed, and did also a number of prominent Greek women and many Greek men. But when the Jews of Thessalonica learned that Paul was preaching the word of God at Berea, some of them went there too, agitating the crowds and stirring them up. The believers immediately sent Paul to the coast, but Silas and Timothy stayed at Berea. Those who escorted Paul brought him to Athens, and then left with instructions for Silas and Timothy to join him as soon as possible. While Paul was waiting for them in Athens, he was greatly distressed to see that the city was full of idols. So he reasoned in the synagogue with both Jews and God-fearing Greeks, as well as in the marketplace day by day with those who happened to be there. A group of Epicurean and Stoic philosophers began to debate with him. Some of them asked, "What is this babbler trying to say?" Others remarked, "He seems to be advocating foreign gods." They said this because Paul was preaching the good news about Jesus and the resurrection. Then they took him and brought him to the meeting of Areopagus, where they said to him, "May we know what this new teaching is that you are presenting? We are bringing some strange idea to our ears, and we would like to know what they mean." All the Athenians and the foreigners who lived there spent their time doing nothing but talking about and listening to the latest ideas. Paul then stood up in the meeting of the Areopagus and said, "People of Athens, I see that in every way you are very religious. For as I walked around and looked carefully at the objects of worship, I even found an altar with the inscription, 'To an unknown God.' So you are ignorant of the very thing you worship, and this is what I am going to proclaim to you. The God who made the world and everything in it is the Lord of heaven and earth, and does not live in temples built by human hands. And he is not served by human hands, as if he needed anything. Rather, he himself gives everyone life and breath and everything else. From one man he made all the nations, that they should inhabit the whole earth. And he marked out their appointed times in history and the boundaries of their lands. God did this so that they would seek him, and perhaps reach out for him and find him, though he is not far from any one of us. For in him we live and move and have our being. As some of our poets have said, we are his offspring. Therefore, since we are God's offspring, we should not think that the divine being is like gold or silver or stone, an image made by human design and skill. In the past, God overlooked such ignorance, but now he commands all people everywhere to repent. For he has set the day when he will judge the world with justice by the man he has appointed. He has given proof of this to everyone by raising him from the dead." When they heard about the resurrection of the dead, some of them sneered, but others said, "We want to hear you again on this subject." At that, Paul left the council. Some of the people became followers of Paul and believed. Among them were Dionysius, a member of the Areopagus, also a woman named Damaris, and a number of others.